Welcome in everyone to episode 110, Instigate Success, Building an ABA Franchise, the official podcast of the Hoosier State Instigators. I'm your host, as always, Jake Schoen, aka Jake Muffins, here for your official podcast of the Instigators. Episode 110 tonight. We are a few games into season three. Got a couple more games here. Um, for this portion of the season, the 2025 portion, and that'll be just about the halfway point after that. Um, but it is Black Friday. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hopefully, you are having a great holiday season. Um, a little bit chilly here. I'm sure in the northern parts of the states, it's probably even colder. But let's jump into this week's episode. So we did have a big announcement this week. If you haven't already seen it, we'll definitely jump into that here in a little bit. But we did have a big announcement. It's a theme night celebrity player we've got in a couple of weeks, and we are really looking forward to that. But let's start things off and take a look around the league and see where things kind of are, how things kind of fell this past week of games, and take a look at the power rankings. So let's get that started, and we'll jump over to the power rankings first. Actually, you know what? We'll do the games from this past weekend first, and then we'll jump into the power rankings. All right, so let's go to the games here for this past weekend. All right, so last Saturday, the 22nd, taking a look at these games. Obviously, we'll highlight some of the teams that we'll be playing and are familiar with. So the 402 Elite with a big 60-point win over the St. Louis Spirit. Um, obviously, Spirit, a team on our schedule. Missouri Capitals took on the Windy City Inferno. Inferno with a 117-94 victory. And I think the Inferno had been ranked this past week, so we'll take a look and see where they fall this upcoming week. The Austin Bats there, not a team we play, but a team that's in that top of those rankings, top three team pretty much throughout the last couple of seasons, 129, 101. And then you got our game here. A 148, 166 loss to the Kings on the road. Definitely a closer game than the first matchup against the Kings. Still looking for a first win, against the Kings. That brings them to 6-0 on the season, though. And then again, our record's going to show 1-3. So, definitely a little bit of a slower start to the year. 148 is good on as far as the offensive side. Obviously, 166 more than you want to let up defensively. And if you look at there as far as the quarters go, looks like just about every quarter there, 40 plus points, other than the third quarter. The only quarter there under the 40-point mark. Definitely, we want to have less than that. Allowed in those quarters. I think ideally we've had games around that 100-point mark. I think if we can keep teams in that 25-ish range per quarter. Obviously, the Kings are a high-scoring team, and we always know that every time we play them. But if we can have teams in that 25-ish range, I feel like that's a pretty solid number to any game as far as it goes. Taking a look at the Kings, as it did not have our stats reported on there. The Kings, though, were led by Marlon Lyons, 50 points for him. And, it's super highly efficient 50 points, too. If you take a look at those shots, he only missed two 2-point shots, so 16 of 18. That's very, very good. He shot 40% from threes, 100% on the line. So he was really making like pretty much any shot he got up. Um, you add up the totals there. That's what he made 26. After you count all the shots, 26 of 34, which is very, very efficient scoring. Um, but 50 points, I mean, that's very impressive regardless of who it is. Obviously, a shout out to him, Marlon Lyons, with an impressive 50-point game there. Then also, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks, solid all the way across. And looks like they were led in rebounds by Hunter with 12, Courtney Ware with 9. Assists, looks like Hunter as well with 9. So no double doubles on the game, but obviously that 50-pointer, that's going to be one of the big differences that you can see there. Courtney Ware also with 27, Pat White with 25. That's pretty much their main scoring there, but 50 is really the thing that I feel like is it's hard to let that happen. But we've seen the Kings are a very high offensive powered team. Normally it was with in the past Cameron Mitchell, but looks like they've got another prolific scorer on that roster. So something to keep an eye on, obviously, as the Kings are undefeated on the season at this point, still 6-0. Looking to continue that, and obviously, that helps them within the division as well. We'll take a look at the division standings here in just a little bit. And I believe the Knoxville Commerce are actually in our division there. 138, 142 loss to Akron. And skimming through here, SVP with another win that'll keep them up in the rankings. Then you see this was a very close game. The Legends and Chuckers 127, 128, back and forth at the end. And that brings the Legends, after their impressive start, down to a 3-3 record. The Shuckers at 2-3. Shuckers pick up their second win on the season. Taking a look at the Legends, Mike Saunders Jr. with 33 points, Harbor with 20. And as far as rebounds, they've got Bellamy and Giles Jr. 12 and 11 respectively. That's for the Legends. And Chuckers does not have the stats reported, but a close game there, 1-point game. The Shockers actually came from behind there at the end of the game in the fourth quarter. So that was a good game to watch. I definitely, these are two teams we're familiar with, and we'll be playing here in the near future. So I definitely think that's kind of a good scouting game. Not only for us and the players, but for the fans, I think as well, to watch that. To kind of see the guys they've got on those rosters, and who we could see matching up against the Instigators here in the next month. And then here's another bit of a surprise here. The Chicago Fury with their second loss in a row actually, and this one on the road again, to the Steel City Yellow Jackets. That brings the Yellow Jackets up to a 5-0 record, and they get a victory over the defending Fury had been undefeated for the past 2 years, seasons and the championships, but this is their second loss now to be in this year. So I think that's really going to be interesting to watch as far as the storylines go within the season. One of the things that the ABA did this offseason was kind of adjust how the scheduling goes. Not to say that the Fury weren't playing difficult teams, but they actually, obviously went undefeated and won the championship the last 2 seasons. So they definitely did face their fair share of difficult teams. But I think that a lot of this might have to do with more so with the travel to these other top ranked teams. So Steel City, they are undefeated on the season, so they're a competitive team. Right up there in that same kind of tier. Then obviously the game prior, the one against the Buffalo Extreme, that's a good bit of travel from Chicago to Buffalo, um, and then to come off of that to go to Steel City, which I'm assuming is Pittsburgh or Pittsburgh area. Again, that's still fairly far away from Chicago, so a good bit of travel in that as well. Um, but obviously the top teams are going to be facing each other more often here during the regular season. So that is a result of this new scheduling. Hopefully that does also make more of a factor with our schedule here in the latter portion of this year. Obviously we had some of our tougher games against the Kings. We got two of those games already. We've got the Pros tomorrow, I do believe, and then we've got a couple more local teams to wrap things up for 2025. Jumping back across the league, we see the Nashville Aces with a 135, 125 victory. Nashville top five team this season. So they are definitely right up there. And team I always shout out there is a on the Florida Tropics with another win. Again, they got some pretty cool logos and whatnot. Then we take a look at Sunday, this past Sunday. We've got the 402 Elite, the 158, 126 victory over the Capitals. We got Windy City Inferno with a 117-90 victory over the Spirit. A lot of good defense there, obviously, keeping them under 100. Then we've got Steel City Yellow Jackets actually played another game the following day, 195, 133 victory over Central PA Kings. Central PA Kings are a pretty solid team too, so definitely not an easy weekend there for the Yellow Jackets, but they turned the best possible outcome for both of those. And I think that's pretty much it for the teams that we face off against. Taking a look at the games tomorrow, we've got the Ohio Kings traveling to the Yellow Jackets. So that'll be the big game. I think one of the bigger games of the week. As far as the standings go, or rankings, I should say, rankings go in the ABA. Then we see the Wisconsin Frost will take on the Fury. So hopefully a game I'm sure that the Fury are looking to get back on track with. Um, a battle with some cool team names and logos. We got the Lucky Ducks and the Sea Turtles. I think that'll be a fun matchup there. The Shuckers. Actually, looks like the Shuckers against the Pros there. Maybe I jumped a week. Maybe we have an off week. Give me a second here. Am I jumping ahead too far? What does this say as far as our schedule goes? I am. I'm jumping ahead. We are off this week. So enjoy the week off, everybody. But Yeah, we're off this week, so we'll take a look at the games around the league because we do not have a game scheduled for this week. So makes more sense now as far as why we don't have that the game graphic for this week. But it is the off week, the holiday week. So that is the reason why. So Shuckers take on the Pros, who we will be taking on the following week. Makes more sense now. And then we've got the got some other games. So then, yeah, as far as my game of the week to watch, I'm going to say that Kings and Yellow Jackets game is going to be my game that I've got circled for tomorrow. Um, skimming through there, yeah, that's definitely the one I'd have circled, and then I also have the Shuckers and the Pros. Um, because that's I think that game is also going to be really important as far as the standings go for us. Um, Within our division with the Shuckers and the Pros, we have the game. We have one victory over the Pros, and then obviously we got another game next week, which it will be important for the standings. And then we've got a couple. We got I think 4 games against the Shuckers. Um, so it'll be important as far as standings go within our division for tiebreakers and whatnot. Taking a look at the Sunday matchups, I don't think there's anybody within our division, region, whatever. It looks like this Sunday. And then we see the following week. Yeah, so it is the following week we play the Pros on the road. And skimming through, actually, it looks like the following week we also got the Aces and the Kings matchup of some of the two of the top teams. That'll be a nice matchup there. But again, I think that really highlights the. You also got the Shuckers and the Lions. I mean, there's a lot of good games in a couple of weeks. Then the Tropics against the Lucky Ducks. Oh, that'll be a fun one, um, for sure. But anyways, yeah, I think that kind of highlights if you just, I mean, looking at this, a lot of the disparity within the league, having that scheduling uh, change, I guess you could say, with how far things get set up. A lot of these top teams, the top teams in the rankings, are going to have losses and multiple losses on a season with how the scheduling goes now, as they've got, you know, multiple difficult games throughout the season against other top teams. So we'll see if there's any undefeated teams at the end of the year. If there's any Highlanders, there can be only one. But yeah, we'll see. So let's jump back over to the stats as far as see who's leading the league. And actually, we'll take a look at the standings first now that I brought standings up, and then we'll look at this leaders in the league. So in the Central Blue Division, the Yellow Jackets are steadily out in front there with a 5 win, 5-0 record there. Hasselbucket's undefeated still at 2-0, but 3 games behind the Yellow Jackets, and Yellow Jackets have a couple of impressive wins there. Our division there, so the red division, Aces and Kings up front, 7-0 and 6-0 respectively. Legends fall, bring them to 3-3. Lions at 3-3 still. Phoenix at 2-2. So all 500 records for those teams. Then we got the Shuckers at 2-3, which is 1 game ahead of us. At which we are at 1-3. Got the Knoxville Commerce again. That's another team in a new team in our division. 0-5 in the pros again. Also looking for their first win. Taking a look at the Black Division, our division from last season, a little bit of a shakeup there with the Inferno jumping up top there at 6-1 compared to the Fury, who got a second loss, now down to 5-2, and the Chicago Knights at 4-1. They're also right in the mix too. Um, Frost and Rebels both looking for their first wins on the season. Looking at the white division, we've got the 402 Elite currently at the top at 2-2. I think Western Oklahoma is also right there at 1-0. Same as the Natives at 2-3. Capitals and Spirit at the bottom of those rankings. Looking over on the East, we've got the New England Lightning at 6-0 with a pretty solid lead in that division. The White Division, Buffalo Extreme at 6-0, Wyoming Valley Clutch at 5-0 as well. Extreme, the number one team. I don't imagine they fell from that. Looking at the Black Division in the East, you got the Strong Arm from Long Island leading at 5-0, and then the Colts at 3-1, not too far behind. Um, Red Division out in the East is a pretty tight race all the way across, aside from at the bottom end of that. 96ers 3-1, Ram Chargers also 3-1, Delaware Dogs 3-2. The DC Senate at 2-0. So all those teams kind of rate around each other. Jumping down to the south, we've got the Black Division with the Silverbacks at 7-0. That's a lot of games already to have played, but they are 7-0. Tri City at 3-0, so still undefeated as well. And then after that, it kind of is a few games behind as far as any of those other teams in that division. Taking a look at the Blue Division in the South, Austin Bats undefeated 6-0. The All Stars 5-1, Purple Kings 3-1, and then about that 500 mark for most of the rest, and then under 500. Over in the red, in the South, we got the Atlanta Defenders at 6-1, Chattanooga Strike at 5-1, and then we've got the Atlanta Aliens and Skyhawks at 4-2. Southwest Warriors somehow have 10 games already played, which is a lot, and they are still looking for their first win. The Florida Tropics lead the way in the White Division down south at 5-1, with their one loss coming against one of the top ranked teams, the Nashville Aces. Out west, we got the Bull Snakes leading the way at 4-1 for Division A, Alpha Conference, and Tucson Buckets, the only other team in that division with a win. Division B, we got the two San Diego teams leading the way. Suns at 7-0, Mob at 5-0. The Royals not too far behind at 5-1. Same with the Guy Levy Legends 5-2. Out in the Beta Conference Division A, San Jose Wolfpack are leading 3-1 over the Knights, who are 0-6. Then SVP Silicon Valley Panthers at 5-0, leading in their division over the Delta Stars 4-2. The at-large teams all still looking for their first wins. Looking at the points per game here, we've got Dylan Cormier with a 50.7. That seems like that's a multiple game average. That's a 3-game average with a 67-point game in there. And that's for the Steel City Yellow Jackets. So it's that makes sense as far as some of the scores we've seen with the Yellow Jackets. He's got 36 against the Fury, Central PA Kings with 49, Nationals against with a 67 points. We've got Devin Milton, 45.5, Avery Green, 44.5, Kenny Holmes Jr., also on the Steel City Yellow Jackets, 44.3. Mook Bates wraps up the top 5 with 43.8 for the Central PA Kings. I think, yeah, Mike Saunders up there at 41 for the Indiana Legends. 38, 52, 33. Assists per game. We've got 21 assists per game for Taekwon Stroman. I feel like that's got to be a single game sample. And it is a single game sample because that is a crazy amount of assists for one game. Edwards, Stephon Edwards. Wonder if that is the same thing. Um, that is a one-game sample with 19 assists. Uh, but you see Dominique Williams with the Louisville Pros, who will be playing in our next game in a couple of weeks. 13.3. Somebody we play a lot, and we've seen his talent and abilities. Also got DJ Little and Jaden Lockett with the aces at 12, respectively, each. Then we got Shamar Overstreet, another guy we're familiar with the pros, at 11.3 on the season. And for rebounds per game, Pierre Walters with 22.8. Definitely an impressive number there. That's in a 5 game span with, wow, like basically 20 plus every week. 22, 19, 27, 23, 23. Big boards for him. We got Anthony Southers for the Louisville Pros as well, I believe. Yeah, Louisville Pros. 3 games, 28, 20, and 10. Then Capri Austin with the Fury, who we're familiar with, 19 per game. And Linnell Watson for the Chicago Fury as well, 16.3. And then Jamario Rivers, Nashville Aces power forward, 16 per game. Somebody we definitely are familiar with as well. Um, and definitely somebody we've seen get those boards before. Steals per game, we got Jalen Kelso at 7.0 on the year per game. Nashville Aces guard with 1 game to his name. So that may be a little bit inflated. Antonio Hunt, though, with 6.7 per game for the Purple Kings. And that is his stats here. 4, 5, 4. Are we looking at steals? Looking at steals. 5, 8, and 7. Then we got Shamar Overstreet and Dominic Williams again at in those top rankings, 6.3 each for the Louisville Pros. And as far as steals go, that is going to be pretty much all the stat leaders within the ABA currently. We are going to stop with that for a second here, and then we'll jump over to the power rankings for the ABA. All right, so power rankings, the top team remains the same, which we pretty much expected with them still being undefeated at 6-0. Buffalo Extreme at the top. Austin Bats, Silicon Valley Panthers, and Nashville Aces remain in the top 4. All went undefeated still. Mississippi Silverbacks at 5 with a 6-0 record. Ohio Kings jump up to that number 6 spot with a 6-0 record. San Diego and New England. Jump to 7 and 8 at 6-0. Steel City Yellow Jackets only up to number 9 after defeating the defending champions, even though they've got a 5-0 record as well. And then you go all the way down 10, 11, 12, still undefeated teams. Then your first team with a loss as number 13, Las Vegas Royals at 6-1. But a team we'll be playing and have seen in the division prior is the Windy City Inferno at number 14 at 6-1. Florida Tropics, I like to shout them out. Again, they've got some cool logos and some of their fun social medias. Same with the Lucky Ducks, who they'll be playing. 5-1. Chicago Fury dropped to number 19. Still ranked though, even though they got that 6-2 record. And I think that's it for our teams within the region and whatnot. So that's the top 25 from this week for the ABA. And then we'll take a look at We had, a big announcement this past week. We'll jump into that. So our big announcement this week, if you haven't already seen it, it's on just about all of our social medias. And the person that's involved with it, it's on their social media as well. But we launched or announced, I should say, we didn't launch it yet. We announced a theme night for this season. The game coming up in the next few weeks on December 14th. That is Sunday at 5:30 at Best Choice Fieldhouse. It will be Motorsports Night. So Motorsports Night. Let's jump over and actually, you can see there. I've got the Brayton Laster merch on tonight's episode. Which, if you don't have Brayton Laster merch, you can go and get some. And this shirt here, if you look close enough, you can see a little Instigators logo right on the hood of the car, which is pretty cool. But anyways, so let's jump over. I got that graphic up for it. All right, so Motorsports Night, presented by Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park. It's gonna be a lot of fun. This is a big night for us. First time we've had a celebrity player, and again, that celebrity player is going to be Brayton Laster, driver of the number '06 ARCA Menards car this past season. You might have seen him at IRP with the Instigators logo driving around on his car. That was voted on by the fans, just like you. So anybody who helped vote, obviously that was a cool experience, having you guys vote as far as the logo that we went with. Which the one that won was that one you see there in the top right corner of the poster there, with the Hoosier State logo. Um, with the bucket in the state. And we had the team logo on the car. You got to choose the logo, the location on the car as well, which we did a pretty nice job there on the C pillar, which is actually pretty sweet because they're making a die cast of that car. So I'm sure we'll have. Probably have some kind of raffles and whatnot going on to get some diecast ordered for you at the game. They haven't come out yet, so they'll just be orders for them. Otherwise, we would hand them out, obviously, but they're still in production, so you got to pre-order them. But anyways, that'll be fun. Obviously having the cross sport flip up there with Brayton coming over to basketball. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of tricks he's got up his sleeve and his skills on the court. And I seen one of our top fans, Night J Wright, on social media. He had a great line. So shout out to Night J Wright for this. I'm just shouting it out. I seen that you were hoping to see him drive the lane. Perfect cross between the two sports. Racing and basketball. Fun play on words there. But that's obviously I think that's if I had to pick what kind of player he's going to be, that would be my guess. Is he's going to be somebody that's trying to drive the lane, maybe crash the boards, and get some second chance points. Although maybe I'll be surprised and he's a corner three dude. I'm not sure. We'll find out on Motorsports Night. That is our game in a few weeks. It's going to be December 14th. It's a Sunday, so it is a little bit different than it originally was put out on that schedule. But this is plenty of time for you guys to get your tickets ahead of time. Come out and enjoy the night with the Instigators, Brayton Laster, and all of the fun stuff we got planned for Motorsports Night. Again, this is presented by Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, which is an amazing venue that we've been at. We had our own booth there for the ARCA and NASCAR truck race there. We're out there for trunk or treat. So it's a fun place to go, especially during the off season. I think we'll be around there more and more throughout the off seasons. And now it's a little bit chillier out. There's not as much racing going on. Um, but this is going to be motorsports night, crossover night. Believe Brayton's also going to be bringing one of his race cars. So photo opportunities for sure, because that's going to be awesome to have a race car at the venue. And again, our venue, our home venue, is Best Choice Fieldhouse in Fishers, Indiana. You can get your tickets, scan that QR code. You can also go on our website, which is instigatorsbasketball.glide.page, and buy tickets for that. It might show on there still for the 13th as far as the tickets. On the website portion, but once you go over there, it'll correct on the actual ticketing link for the 14th. Again, that is a schedule change. So announcement scheduling change. It's Sunday the 14th at 5:30. So different time and date. And I believe we're going to be switching and flipping those home and away series games. So they'll be on the home first, and then we'll be home second. So Saturday and Sunday got flipped. But this will be a lot of fun. First time with a celebrity player. So that'll be awesome to have. And, I think it'll just be a really, really fun experience. There's also a big, I think it's PRI, Performance Racing event going on that same weekend. So if you're there for that event, you also come out for motorsports night. But yeah, we'll have obviously some more details and as we get a little bit closer. But for right now, what we can say and we can confirm, we got Brayton Laster. He will be a celebrity player. He will be checking in and playing in the game. So it's not just an honorary player. He is quite literally, he is an extra player for the Instigators. This is something we haven't done before. It is quite literally an extra roster spot, particularly for that game. So it will not count against one of the guys that's normally on the active roster. He is just going to get an extra spot on the roster, and he will be checking into the game. So you will see professional race car driver playing professional basketball. Fun crossover event there. And then obviously he's going to have some cool photo opportunities with one of his race cars there. Obviously we're gonna have some. We'll probably have some fun, merch and whatnot to come out with. Maybe some posters and stuff. And it'll be a fun night. Really, really looking forward to this one. And it's also going to be a doubleheader weekend, so really fun weekend planned for that. And that'll be our next return to home. Obviously, we're on the road in not this week, but next week against the pros, and then we'll be on the road for that first of the two back-to-back game series against the Shuckers, and then we'll be at home for that Sunday night game, December 14th. So that'll be an awesome event. Really, really cool. Glad to be a part of that, and you know, we're gonna have. I guess this is a teaser. At some point, we'll get Brayton on here for the podcast, so he will be on Instigate Success here. Um, at some point, we will get that arranged. Obviously, scheduling wise, we just got to get that arranged. But this is confirmed. This is truly happening. Our first ever celebrity player night, our a big motorsports night, theme night. That is again this Sunday, December 14th at 5:30. Scan your tickets, get your tickets ahead of time. Make sure you get your tickets, now. That way you don't got to worry about them as it gets closer to. But it'll be a fun night. And it's the Shockers. It's a friendly rivalry. It's a team we've faced off against a lot. We're both very familiar with each other, and it's just it'll be a fun. It'll be the second game of our 4-game series. Bragging rights for the state of Indiana on the line as well. Is it Indiana? Or is it going to be the Hoosier State? So we'll see that. And then obviously Brayton is you could say a hometown guy. He's an Indiana guy as well. So to have the Indiana driver on our team, I feel like it's also cool to have somebody like that representing the Instigators brand as a celebrity player. He's in a video game too. Actually, that's another cool thing. If you didn't already know that, he's in the new NASCAR. So for our video game fans, NASCAR fans, he's in NASCAR 25. You could play as Brayton Laster in NASCAR 25, and you can race at Lucas Oil IRP, Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park, with Brayton Laster in his '06 car at IRP in NASCAR 25. So pretty cool to be associated with all that kind of stuff. But we're all looking forward to that. It'll be an awesome night. I will definitely be there. I hope to see each and all of you there. But that's our big news for this week. Again, this is an off week for us. So everybody rest up, enjoy your weekend, enjoy the holiday. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. If you're shopping, stay safe with the Black Friday shopping. There's a lot of online sales now too, which is a great reminder to go to w.gg. I think they're doing a crazy Black Friday sale. But for any time you go there, you can always use Apex Athletics as a promo code for 10% off of your orders. So you can do that as well anytime of the year. But that's going to be it for tonight's episode. Again, Motorsports Night coming up in a couple of weeks, or a few weeks, December 14th at 5:30 p.m. Sunday. And get your tickets now. You'll be able to see Brayton Laster, the professional race car driver, become a professional basketball player for the night as a celebrity player for the Hoosier State Instigators in bragging rights for the state of Indiana, presented by Lucas Oil IRP. It's going to be the Shockers at the Instigators. So looking forward to that. I know you all are as well too, and we hope to see you out there. But before that, we've got a game coming up in a couple, not this week, but next week against the Louisville Pros on the road. So we've got that coming up. But that is it for tonight's episode. Thank you everyone for joining us as always. For Instigate Success, building an ABA franchise, your official podcast of the Hoosier State Instigators. It's been episode 110 already, so that means we got triple ones next week. That'll be cool. And yeah, again, thank you for however you're watching this. We appreciate you for tuning in, whether you're catching this live on YouTube or Patreon, or if you're catching this on the replay on YouTube, thank you. And we wouldn't be here without you guys. We really, truly do appreciate your continued support of the Hoosier State Instigators. And if you haven't caught the games for this season already, go on our YouTube during this off week, catch up on those games. Kind of break down the film, see what we got going on this year for the Instigators. We're looking to pick things up. We're at 1-3 right now, but we've got this week off. Then we got a game the following week, and then we got 2 games the week after that. So a chance if we win out those 3 games to actually go not only back to 500. If we win 2 of those games, or the first 2, that would put us at 500. If we sweep all 3 of those games, that puts us over 500 again. So we are really not that far behind. When you look at things. So, but that's going to be it. Again, enjoy the weekend off. Happy holidays. But until next time, we'll see you next week again, Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern for Instigate Success, building an ABA franchise. Until then, as always, be great and Instigate.